So we're gonna go ahead and be going to Missing You. This is going to be in your Waco Keyboarding book 1 on page 31. So we're gonna look at our left hand. We have 4 different patterns here. We're starting off with our usual C and G pattern. But if you look at it, we now have eighth notes, which means we're going to be dividing it from playing C, G together to playing C, then G, dividing it separately. So we have C, G for our very first measure 1. So go ahead and find C and G. Remember that your right hand belongs in the middle and your left hand goes to the C right before it. So we have C, then G, pinky and your thumb, and you're just going to be playing C, G. Measure 2, you go move your pinky down to B flat, but your thumb doesn't move. Your thumb stays on G. So first you have C, G, then you have B flat, G. The next one, you're gonna move from B flat down to A. It's not gonna be A flat just yet. If you look at the music, we don't have a flat on that A. So you start with C, G, B flat, G. Move down to the next white key, which is A, G. And the very last one is gonna be A flat. So you move to the middle of the 3 black keys, and that's going to be A flat up to G. So if you notice your G, your thumb doesn't move throughout the whole left hand experience. So we have C, G, pause, and B flat, G, pause, then A, G, pause, and A flat, G. So that's going to happen throughout all of the song except for the very end. So if you go to the very last measure, it says 8 VB and a little arrow and it says play 1 octave lower than written. So on the sheet music, this C, where you usually play your left hand, is written, but you're gonna go down to the next low C. Okay, so I'm going to play measure 14, box 14, all the way to the end so you can see what that left hand's gonna look like. So we have B flat, G right there on measure 14. Then A flat, C, G, then we have C, just like that, C by itself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the left hand and the right hand, but I want you to focus on the left hand, and if you can, try to play along with me there. So we're going to start from the beginning. If you can join me on the left hand, go ahead and do so. 1, 2, ready, go. B flat, A, G, A flat, C, G, B flat, A, G, A flat, C, G, B flat, A flat. Like the beginning, C, G, B flat, A flat, C, G, down to C. Okay, so that was the whole song. I did take it a little slower than what we're usually going to be taking it as. So that was your left hand. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain the right hand. So for the most part, the right hand is the same throughout the whole song, except from measure 9 all the way to measure 12. That little section's a little bit different, but it's super easy. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go back to the beginning. Measure 1 through 3 are all the same. So you have your fingers on the usual spots, thumb on C, and each finger gets a white key up to G. And you're going to start with letter D, number 2. If you look at your book, it tells you number 2, so finger number 2. And you go from D, E, G, E, D, C. Okay, one more time. We're gonna start with letter number 2, letter D. So we have D, E, G, E, D, C. Measure number 2, same thing. D, E, G, E, D, C. Same thing. D, E, G, E, D, C. The last measure is just a little bit different. We have D, E flat, F, E flat, D, C. Okay? So measures 1 through 3, you have D, E natural, then G. So if you notice in your music, you have that skip, you're skipping letter F. Okay, so don't be confused thinking it's going to go all the way up to G. You're going to skip letter F in the beginning, but the very last one, you don't go to G, you actually go to that F. And instead of playing E natural, you're going to be moving your third finger to E flat. So measure number 4, we have D, E flat, F, E flat, D, and C. All right? So that's going to be the same thing from measure 1 all the way to measure 8, and then we change on measure 9. So I'm going to go ahead and play from measure 1 to 8 consistently so you can hear what that sounds like. I'm going to do this with my left hand, but I want you to pay attention to the right hand. So from the beginning, here I go. 1, 2, ready, and... Measure 5. Okay, now on measure 9, it's a little bit different, but it's super easy. You're going to start with finger number 5, which is letter G, and you're going to go each finger down all the way to C, and then jump back up. So watch this. G, F, E, D, C, G. That's it. So you go from the very top, and you just come all the way down to C, and then right back up. So we have G, F, E, D, C, G, and again, G, F, E, D, C, G. One more time. G, F, E, C, D, C, and you're going to land on D at the end instead of G. So we have G, F, E, D, C, D. So that third measure from measure 9, measure 11, you're going to play D instead of going back to G. So from the top, and then D. And that same note is going to be the starting note for the next measure, which is measure number 12. You have D, E flat, F, E flat, D, C. And measure 12 is actually going to be the same thing as measure number 4 and measure number 8, the ends of these other sections. Okay? So it's going to be the same thing. You've already heard it before. I'm going to go ahead and play the measure 9 all the way to measure 12 so you can hear what that sounds like. So I'm going to play it with my left hand, but I want you to focus on the right hand, starting on G. Okay, so we have C, G, measure 9, ready, and... 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the same thing. I want you to go ahead and go back to measure 9 and just pause at this point and just repeat that until you get the flow of it. It's pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and play measure 13 to the end with both my hands, but I want you to listen to the right hand. Although it is the same of what you've done before, it's just going to be a mix of these 3 sections. So I want you to go ahead and listen. So we have C and G. This is on measure 13. Ready, and... like the beginning. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 6. last two measures is just going to be like measure 9, and then you add the last octave C at the very, very end. So at this point of the video, if you have some trouble spots, go ahead and pause it and just go back and practice either the right hand, the left hand, and whichever. I encourage you to just focus on one hand to begin with and then do the other hand. So right now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go back to the beginning and I'm going to play from beginning to end without stopping with both my hands. So at this point of the video, I want you to be able to already at least play one hand with me. Play the left hand with me or play the right hand with me, and whenever you feel like you're ready, go ahead and put both your hands together to try it with me at the very, very end. So this is going to be the end of the video after I finish this last section. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and